What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another Football Manager 2020 video. That feels weird to say, but here we are, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Wonderkids for you to sign at the start of your save games. I'm excluding all the obvious names, throwing some out of left field, some that you might be able to pick up for relatively decent prices at the start of your save games. Hopefully you enjoy. Let me know which of these stand out to you, and well, without further ado, let's get into this. So coming in at number 10, we have Benjamin Nygren of Genk. This guy is a pretty versatile attacking midfielder. He's only 17 years old, so pretty young. You can see here, natural at centre attacking mid, and he just has a really well-rounded kind of assortment of attributes. You can really mould this guy into a variety of attacking midfielder roles. There isn't, an obvious one to go for. I feel like as a shadow striker, he could definitely do work. That 13 off the ball, 12 finishing, and also 12 composure is pretty nice. Obviously, only valued at £2.3 million, so definitely affordable at the start of your save game. Just under £7,000 on wages means he isn't going to command the biggest of fees. Obviously, you've got to be aware that Genk did sign him this year, but come January, you'll definitely be able to get him for a pretty decent price. And this guy I have seen develop into a good little superstar. There's a few better players who are similar to him, but slightly better, but nevertheless, for his price point and his age, definitely deserved a spot in this top 10 countdown. Coming in at number 9, guys, today we have Jude Bellingham of Birmingham City. You can see this guy, he's actually 15 years old when the game starts. Now, he will turn 16 in the very near future, but you can see here the young Englishman, another pretty versatile attacking option. Probably more of a deeper midfielder, but again, a pretty blank canvas. You can see here, he's got a very even array of attributes, so you can kind of mould him into whatever you want. Good high potential. Of course, if you are managing in England, homegrown players are at a premium. If you sign him early enough, you will be able to get him homegrown at club as well. Obviously, this is his first year in Football Manager. I imagine he is going to become a household name in the coming years. And yeah, there's not a lot more to say about this guy other than that he is a jack of all trades, master of some. He's got pretty good leadership and determination. If you were to do a Birmingham City save, he's definitely the man to build around. And yeah, aged only 16 years old when your season's going to be starting, young blood that can definitely do a job, in the Championship. And if you're a Premier League side, like a player who you just absolutely have to keep your eyes on because he could turn into a world superstar. Coming in at number 8, we have another youngster and another centre mid, Lasondra Mone, who plays in the second tier of France. You can see here, very high determination. This guy, just a really outstanding defensive playmaker. You can see here, 12 vision, 12 passing, decent tackling and marking as well. And first touch is just one of his big standout things. He looks like, I don't want to say a mini Pirlo of sorts, but he's got kind of that ball playing ability whilst not having the greatest of physicals. Of course, given his young age, you are going to be able to mould him. You are going to be able to help those out, potentially train him as a roaming playmaker. You can see here his value is very, very low. He is going to be a very affordable player at the start of the game. Compared to some of these other players, he doesn't necessarily have the same crazy potential, but in terms of pure value for money, this is a guy who you want to keep your eye on, and particularly if you're doing a save game in France, have him on your radar, snap him up if you can whilst he's young. He looks like a really outstanding deep line playmaker, and someone who you could really, develop a system around as the heartbeat of a team. Coming in at number 7, guys, you can see here we have Crepin Diatta. This guy, one of the older players on this list, and I feel like when you look at him, the one thing that stands out is this guy doesn't know where he wants to play on a football pitch. He can play absolutely everywhere. Natural across all 3 attacking midfielder positions. He could play right back, right wing back, centre mid, potentially even striker. And at 20 years old, he's already had 10 caps for the Senegal national team. So yeah, a player with a growing reputation. And you can see here looking at him, just an outstanding attacking option. His obvious kind of main benefit is just his physicals. He is a speed demon. He has a personality of ambitious as well, which is going to be very, very good. If we look at his history, you can see he's been playing for Bruges for the last couple of years, made 23 appearances for their first team this season just gone. And you can see why. He is just an exciting player, one of the few players on this list who is established at international level. His mentals let him down a little bit, but he could be just an absolute pace merchant down the wing. He's got the flair, he's got the dribbling. He could be that tricksy player for you, cutting in from either wing. And yeah, he looks superb. I would be very interested to see what you do with this guy. How would you train him? Let me know down in the comments. I feel like for me, he looks like a good little winger. I feel like he's lacking in a few areas, but equally, there's just raw potential potential there. Barring his slightly average physicals, his slightly average mentals, like everything else about him just looks very, very good. And given his kind of, I guess, a variety of positions, you can just use him as a super sub immediately and give him game time that way in order to help him develop. Coming in at number 6, guys, we have Jonathan Gonzales, a Mexican international at 20 years old. He looks absolutely superb. His current ability is very, very good. He's still playing in Mexico. Worth being aware that in order to get this guy in your save game, you may have to have Mexico loaded, but it's probably worth it. I mean, just looking at him here, you can see just a tremendous defensive midfielder who has the potential to potentially play, I think, as a box-to-box midfielder. He's got great stamina. His work rate is superb, but also his marking and tackling really just jump out at me. Definitely not the playmaker type. You can see here only 8 passing, but if you're looking for someone to break down the play, who's just going to give it his all every single game, this could be the guy for you. Obviously, growing reputation in Mexico as an international, definitely going to help him, I guess, on his route to getting a work permit. And his mentals and his physicals combined are great. Technically, definitely room for improvements, but of course, technical's the most easy set of attributes to improve. And a player who I feel like can really do a job in Europe. He's a player ready, I think, to play some regular first-team football as well, which is obviously always useful with this list. And with his value at less than £1 million, a player who I feel like you'll be able to get for a pretty affordable price. Next in on this list, guys, we have Thales Magno. Finally, a Brazilian making an appearance. This 16-year-old attacking player looks crazy. You can just look at him. I mean, he's nuts. He's got 15 dribbling, 17 flair, great technique as well. His finishing composure and off the ball are also great. Can play naturally as a striker, left attacking mid, right attacking mid. His physicals as well are very, very solid. And I just feel like this guy is one of those players who people are going to be talking about a lot. He's got 5 goals in 8 appearances, you can see in this save game here. A 7.35 average rating. And yeah, I feel like he's just a player you're going to have to snap up. Otherwise, you're going to live to regret it. PSG are going to get him. They're going to dominate the Champions League. He just looks like that kind of player. Obviously, his passing and vision are pretty solid as well. You could perhaps play him as a complete forward. He is capable, I guess, of playing that advanced playmaker role down the middle. But yeah, at 16, he's just one of the best prospects in the game. Not necessarily going to be quite as affordable. You can see here he's already wanted by Porto. So yeah, you're going to be fighting it out if you go in for him at the start of your save game. But if you are managing one of the bigger clubs, I really can't recommend it enough. The next guy we have on this list is a player who I'm not even going to try and say his second name. We'll just call him Yari. He looks like Yuri Tillemans from a few years ago, another Anderlecht playmaker. A great player, crazy physicals you can see here. They're great in terms of his pace and his overall ability. Perhaps his jumping and physicality as a more, enforcer of a player. Not quite there, but technically and mentally he's got it all. You can see just really well-rounded. The number of 12s, 13s and 14s here for a player who's 18 years old are superb. Obviously, he can play in quite a few positions. You can see here he is another one of these players occupying the advanced playmaker roles. Worth noting with this guy, he has a attribute range in terms of his potential ability, so it will vary save game on save game. I've seen it be as high as 178. This is a guy who can have a crazy amount of potential. You're definitely going to want to try and snap him up. You can see here at the start of this save game, a number of teams wanting to loan him, including the likes of Schalke and Saint Etienne. This is a player who, if you're managing in a top-flight European league, is probably going to be able to come in and do a job for you right away. I like him a lot, obviously 15 vision, 14 passing. This guy is a more advanced playmaker, could be absolutely superb. And yeah, it's for those reasons that he comes in at number 4 on this list. In at number 3, guys, the first of a few defensive options. We have here Patella, who is on loan from Atlanta at the start of your save games. He looks absolutely crazy. He is 19 years old, an Italian stallion in the centre-back position. His physicals, you can see here, all very, very good for a player of his age. And his mentals are pretty good as well. He has the core 3 technicals I look for as well in a defender. If I'm looking at a centre-back, I'm always immediately drawn to heading, marking, tackling. He's got them all, and with his 11 first touch and 11 passing as well, more than capable of perhaps being developed into a ball-playing defender. Obviously, due to the fact he's out on loan, you're not going to be able to sign him right away, but he's a player who I've seen develop into an absolutely crazy prospect in many a save game. I'll show you guys on screen now a picture of what he can look like in the future, doing crazy, crazy things. Really recommend getting this guy if you can, after the first season. Keep an eye on him. He's going to have to be on your radar. Obviously, guaranteed some first-team football as well whilst he's out on loan in Serie B. And I imagine he's only going to get better. Coming in at number 2, guys, it's another defensive midfielder option, Florento Luiz of Benfica. You can see here he looks very, very good. His physical's absolutely superb. His personality, a model citizen as well in this save game. He just looks crazy, doesn't he? You can see why he's so high on this list. At 19 years old, a player who could waltz into many a team across Europe. His physicals are absolutely superb. Obviously, stamina and natural fitness for a centre mid who's going to be playing regularly and covering a lot of ground is superb. Definitely more on the defensive side of things, 16 tackling, 13 marking, but make no mistake, this guy is just crazy. You can see the amount of yellow here, the amount of attributes in excess of 15 in the mentals department for a 19-year-old is just nuts. 16 work rate, 18 teamwork, 16 positioning. Could well play him at centre-back as well, although his lack of height might be a problem. But shielding your back line, he is going to be just a tremendous player. Of course, playing for Benfica, he is going to cost a lot of money for you to prime away. I've seen him go for tens of millions of pounds a couple of years into a save game. But make no mistake, this guy is one of the best Wonderkids in this year's game, and he would be higher if it wasn't for that high price point that he will command at the start of your save games. And finally, guys, in at number 1, a player whose name I think we're going to be saying a lot over the next years of Football Manager, 16-year-old Eduardo Camavinga. He is just absolutely crazy. You can see here he's from Congo, and he looks nuts. He plays for Rennes, he's a centre mid, and you can just see how well-rounded he is for his age. This is another guy who develops absolutely crazily. As for a few players, I'll show you what they look like in the future. They look absolutely great. Make no mistake, this is a player you're going to want to get your hands on if you can. You could train him to play centre-back, he could definitely do a job there, but you can see 14 tackling, 14 marking. For a player who is only 16 years old, it's pretty unheard of in Football Manager. His physicals aren't the most standout. I definitely, if I was to sign him, would get him focused on his strength training, trying to get that jumping reach and strength just a little bit better. But he's just got it all. He's so well-rounded. He has also got, left-footedness, which can be useful if you are someone who likes to play a pairing of centre-mids and you want them on their stronger feet, or at centre-backs, of course. I know some people, you like to have your left centre-back have a left foot. This guy has that and more. You can see here, looks great. As I said, for me, he is the best Wonderkid this year. Keep an eye out for him in your save games. He's going to be a household name in Football Manager. And yeah, I really can't recommend trying to pick this guy up if you can at the start of your save games. Anyway, guys, that wraps up today's video from me. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, do drop a like on the video. If you'd like to see these guys in the future, maybe a few other Wonderkids in the future, let me know down in the comments. We'll try and get that coming your way soon. Massive thank you if you have got to this point in the video as well. If you're new here, of course, do subscribe. We've got more FM20 content coming on the regular. Hopefully I see you guys next time. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.